My name is Jim Goodmon. I worked with Charlie for 24 years at WRAL TV. You know, I really like not having the funeral quickly, right? The time that we've had between Charlie's death and our service today. At the death, we're very emotional, upset, and every day I sort of thought about another thing I wanted to say about Charlie. I've got it together about Charlie, right? I had time to make sense of all this living and dying and what's going on and what all this is. So I really appreciate having that time. Now, one thing that happened to me when I was reviewing, Charlie Gaddy retired 31 years ago. I think if you'd have asked me, I would have said, 15 years, 12 or 15, 31 years. And you know what that means? And I found this to be very interesting. There are people that were born in Raleigh 30 years ago that never saw Charlie on television. Right? Think about that. They've never seen Charlie on television. All right, so what happened the time I had to think? I came up with two ideas that two things I want to share with you that popped up. And the first is how lucky we all are, right, to have known Charlie. What an honor. Look at what he accomplished and what he meant and what he did for our community and the standards he set for us. Right, all that Charlie Gaddy did for us. How lucky are we? And that's the gratitude that we should have gratitude for that. That's a really important notion to me, is that we should be thankful that we had Charlie. Now, there's another word throughout everything that I kept thinking about, and that is trust. Right, we don't do that anymore, you know. Trust, credibility, right? Reliability. Do what you say you're going to do, right? Trust. Everybody trusted Charlie. That credibility that he had, I'm going to tell you a story about Charlie Gaddy's credibility. We have Deborah too. We have so many stories that we could. We did a cerebral palsy telethon every year. Charlie was very involved in cerebral palsy. The center is named for Charlie. He was very important to the telethon. I had the task of working with cerebral palsy to meet our financial goals. Right? We wanted to raise a certain amount of money, and we had these goals, and we needed to raise them. And so it actually got to this. Charlie and I would talk about this every year. He would call and say, "What time, Coach?" A very short conversation. "Sunday afternoon, Jim, what time, Coach?" And I would say, 4 o'clock. That was the conversation. And so here's what we would do. Or we had maybe 20 telephones. So we could look at the telephones and see if anybody's calling. You know, is what we're doing on the telephone, is it working? Is anybody calling? I'll never will forget the number. When I would bring Charlie on at 4 o'clock, the instructions were, everybody be quiet, medium tight shot on Charlie, maybe here up, and he's going to talk to us. Charlie would start talking about cerebral palsy, and it's true, I could look at the phones, and they'd all start ringing, right down the line. I'd give him some time off, and he'd come back and he'd do it again. People trusted Charlie Gaddy. They believed in him. If Charlie Gaddy believed this was important, they believed that it was important. All right, so how did all this get started? Charlie at WRAL. That's my only other story. My grandmother died. My grandfather remarried. And she listened to WPTF radio all the time. WPTF was on all the time. And one day my grandfather called me over to his office and said, "Jim, Margaret likes this boy at WPTF, Charlie Gaddy." Well, Charlie was doing a program called Ask Your Neighbor. It's a PTF for 10 years. And PTF is very good, very high news standards. I mean, Charlie got into this in a very structured and formal way. Part of his background at PTF was a really good news organization, but they had him doing Ask Your Neighbor. And it was every morning, and the idea, you can hear it, "Charlie, I'm thinking about having an oyster casserole for Thanksgiving, and I need a recipe. And my phone number is 642-5111. It went on for an hour. It was certainly wasn't made for television. Do you think we can do that program on television, he said. I said, no, but we'll figure something out. So I had my grandfather interested in bringing Charlie to WPTF. A week later, my uncle, Fred Fletcher, family business, a wonderful, wonderful man, always interested in young people and talent. He was sort of an entertainer, chairman of the Parks and Recreation Board in Raleigh for 31 years. If I needed to get a requisition or something signed, I need to figure out what park he'd gone to. He was into these parks. He said, Jim, there's this boy at WPTF, same word, that's putting out a record. He sings and he dances, and he's putting out a record. And I want you to make a music video of this. I'm thinking, what? I don't have any place to run a music video on television. So I'm on the team, and we hired Charlie Gaddy, and had a Good Morning Charlie was the name of the program. It was we had a studio auditorium. He sat at a table, and the phone was there, and it rang, and he answered. And the best guests that we had, I laugh about this, is we recorded championship wrestling every Wednesday night. So all the wrestlers were in there Wednesday. I got them go in there and be on Charlie's show and talk on the phone. So that's how we got Charlie. Now, so he was with us, 91, 94, he became anchor of the 6 o'clock news. All right, so this is the only time I'm going to exaggerate a little, maybe. Not much. We had a goal at WRAL, which was to build a great television station. Right? I mean, that was the goal. And that started with building the news department and establishing the 6 o'clock news as the television news of record in the market. I always say, it makes everybody mad, that the only thing that matters to WRAL today is the 6 o'clock news. Now, we do a lot more now, but that was my notion, is we're all here in this building to do that 6 o'clock news tonight. And what I want to say is that effort to build a great television station that was built around, the center of that was Charlie Gaddy. Right? Everything oh, now, by the way, there are a bunch of folks here. A whole lot of people worked hard and did a great job. It wasn't all Charlie. But you know what I mean? Charlie was at the fulcrum. It all came from there. And for 20 years, he did that. And here I go, guys. We're good. We were real good. We had ratings nobody's ever seen in the country. We're still real good, right? But that really worked. That was, and Charlie worked with me in doing that. We had a special relationship. I trusted him, he trusted me, and we took care of each other. How's that? For those 20 years. So, there's a saying, Elvis has left the building. You know, we're here to pay our respects and say goodbye to Charlie. I'm not on to say goodbye to Charlie. No. We certainly want to pay our respects. Elvis has left the building, so Charlie has left the building. No. Charlie hasn't left the building. Right? If you walk into WRAL today, Charlie's in that building. He's in that building because he worked with Gerald. Right? He's in that building because he worked with David. He's in that building because of what he got started and built and has carried on through the staff of WRAL TV. Charlie has not left the building. He's with us all the time. So God bless us, God bless Charlie Gaddy, and God bless America.